Hi, welcome to Cichlid Heaven. It's been 2 years since I picked up these green terrors. I got 4 of them about 2 years ago from a guy named Jordan in Roy, Utah. He had way too many and he couldn't handle them all and couldn't find homes, so I brought him home to my 75-gallon grow-out tank. So this tank here, where you see a few of them swimming around here with some random Africans, was their first home for about 6 months. They got along really well at this stage, of course, with the Africans. But when I finished my fish room, I thought I want to have a tank full of really big, tough fish. And I thought at least for the moment, the green terrors might be a good addition to that society. So I put them in here, not really knowing for sure. I'd never kept them before, and so I didn't know really for sure if they'd do well or not. But 2 years later, I'm just telling you, they have done really well. So a few months after pairing up, they had their first batch of fry, and they continued to have batch after batch of fry inside that tank with all the other fish. The male got bigger, the female grew a little bit, but not a ton. I should say the two females. I believe the two that have the white tails are both females, and the two with the males, with the red tails, are both males. So just created a huge swarm of fry every time they had them, and they'd guard them faithfully for about 2 weeks, and then the swarm would get smaller and smaller until they disappeared altogether. As you can tell, there are a lot of piscivores in this tank. So their diet, the venustus, the rhodesii, these are all fish that eat fish. So it didn't surprise me too bad that they disappeared over time. And but the 4 green terrors, even though they are not from Africa, they have nothing in common as far as heritage-wise with the Africans. They get along extremely well. They don't socialize a ton, but they definitely have created a presence in the tank that the other fish respect. And while the Africans mess with each other on a regular basis, they don't mess with the green terrors hardly at all. As a matter of fact, they make way for the green terrors. They, especially for the big guy, they tend to swim together quite a bit, and the male and the female, those two together, tend to spend most of their time together. The other male, the other one with the red tail, does socialize with them, but doesn't have as big a presence as the main male does. I think the combination of Central Americans and Africans is looked upon as being not necessarily the ideal thing, and I wouldn't disagree with that. I would say you can do all African or all Central American tanks, and they work out pretty well. But I'd also say that if you have a large enough tank and the right fish, you can keep a lot of different fish together that wouldn't be typically done. Now, people also talk about the conditions that the fish might be raised in. And my water is my water. I don't change it in any way other than pulling out the chlorine and making the tank water safe. And so my water is the same in my African tanks or my Central American tanks. It's the same with my severums and acaras. And so it's the same in this tank too. So the conditions are the same regardless of where these fish originated. So anyway, I wanted to share with you, I thought it would be a good time after 2 years with me, how this has worked out for me, and hopefully enjoy today's video. Look at that guy. Isn't he just amazing?